stuck in space, so you're trying to get to the MSC race. One man has all the clues to help you solve your blues. EJ is his name, and rockets are his game. Bolder than any man, crazy creations are his plan. Cities, Kerbal, and workers, they all are at his command. Oh God, that's all I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night, but Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes, EA is always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can. Turbo stuck in space, or you're trying to get to the MSC race. One man has all the clues to help you solve your blues. EJ's his name, and rockets are his game. Bolder than any man, crazy creations are his plan. Cities, Kerbal, and workers, they all are at his command. I don't know if that's all I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night, but Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes, EA's always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can.
Streaming live today, building dreams its own way. Raka starts the plan. He's creating a new land. Clicks and streams, they tune in fast. Communist republics from the past. He will rise to lead the way. Raka stun every day. Greatest ever, he's the man. EJ's got the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Daka stuns the creed. Followers shout with all their might. EJ's vision shining bright. From the east to every coast. Daka stuns they toast. Greatest ever, he's the man. EJ's got the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Daka stuns the creed. Followers shout with all their might. EJ's vision shining bright. From the east to every coast. Daka stun they toast. Greatest ever, he's the man. EJ's got the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Daka stuns the creed. Monitors hum with electric light. EJ's bringing dark to bright. In the chat, they give their cheer. Daka stun is near. It's near. It's creed. It's near. Daka stuns the creed.
Hello. Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. How's everybody doing? It's the Space and Rocket Review. It's Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. I'm EJ. I'm the only one here. There's nobody else here. Did I miss Modeling Wednesday? No. I made a tube. It's a tube. It's a nice tube, though. I gotta be honest with you, that AI song was pretty bad. It's supposed to be.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Yeah, it's supposed to be doo-doo. That's the whole point. It's funny. But, you know. Here. What about this one?
This is space. I'm in space.
Mr. Man! Mr. Man! Mr. Man!
Desert land so grand. Teachers got the master plan. Building dreams from oil and sand. Workers, resources in hand. Refinance clean with a gleam. Making cities from a stream. Sweat and grit is how it seems. Living out his wildest dreams. Heat is on in Bakalaka, Dagestan. We're building oil towers like a man with EJ at the helm. It's all in hand. In Bakalaka, Dagestan, we stand.
It's a good song.
The grind won't stop.
What? It's a good song.
To the top. Mighty power in a drop.
No, I mean, the other song? Oh. I mean,
救急車を呼んでもらったからといって安心はできません。しっかりと自分の状態を相手に伝えましょう。
I have a bad case of diarrhea.
私はひどい下痢です。
I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea.
I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea.
Isn't this a good song?
Case of diarrhea. I have a bad case. 肩に手を乗せ I have クロスして A bad case お腹をさすって of diarrhea ジェスチャーゲームの要領です。感情を込めてやってみましょう。I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea.
no? Alright. Oh no, he ate the lettuce! I, don't buy food from Taco Bell for reasons, and those reasons seem to be paying off. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I have a bad case of diarrhea. Taco Bell employees. Probably. The songs aren't bad. They're royalty-free goodness. Yeah. It's great. All right. Space and Rocket Review. Let's go. Here. We're starting with this. Headphone users. Oh. Wasn't too bad. No. We're just going to have to do it again. Ready? Yeah! There we go. Look what arrived at Oshkosh. Yeah, just an F-15, whatever. No big deal. We also have this. Somebody shot this footage, over at Oshkosh. Hey. I'm not sure if that's an EX. I know what that is, though. Fire! 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 No, 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 come back, come back. No, no, no. You know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you know, that's pretty neat. I vacuumed water out of my car today. You know, that's cool. Nah, no, but we probably shouldn't do that. No, Barty, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just...
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you're showing me right now. That would dry out the car really quick. Yeah, yeah, it would dry the whole car, you know? Like, the whole car would be dry and then gone, you know? You wouldn't have to worry about it getting wet again. What's on AirVenture right now?
Coolian Aerosports is very proud to represent some of aviation's most...
Look, if you had Mom Spaghetti, would you capture it, or you just let it slip? It's Palm Spaghetti, knees weak, arms spaghetti. There's vomit on his sweater already. Mom Spaghetti, he's nervous, but he's looking to drop spaghetti. I see a target that is no longer a target. I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, don't shoot that one down, please. What do we got? An extra flying at Oshkosh right now? That looks like an extra 300. Oh. 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 Okay. All right. Roll. I gotta make the noises because they're playing copywritten music. They're still playing copywritten music. What the hell? Okay. Oh. An extra 330? Oh. Yeah, extra 330s are nice. Okay. 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 All right. I don't know, Nova. Okay. Okay. What? That's awesome! That's awesome! That looks like fun. I'd probably blow chunks, but still looks like fun. I'd have a good time. Sick. That's super cool. Didn't know planes had 6 degrees of freedom? Yeah, me neither. You know, that's not really the right noise for this, but, you know, whatever. Starbase Live noises. It's fine. How many barrel rolls do you want? Yeah. Well, aileron rolls, but whatever. Yeah, physics? Yeah, we don't need that no more. Okay, okay. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh, all right. I don't know what that was, but yeah. That, wish those World War II fighter races got to see what aircraft could do today. I was gonna say, can you imagine a squadron of these during the Battle of Britain? Those Focke-Wulf 190s and BF 109s wouldn't stand a chance. I mean, dude, you wouldn't even need a lot of machine guns on this thing. Just 250s. You're gonna get behind someone. You're gonna get behind them. What, are you not gonna get behind them? What are you gonna get outturned? What? Oh, that's cool. All right. Okay. Do this with your shuttle, you coward. No. Shut up. Oh, those were barrel rolls. That was a barrel roll. So this is EAA Air Venture, guys. This is the Oshkosh Air Show, which is ridiculous. There's so many good things. I figure, for the space news just throughout the week, we'll just do a little update here. Okay. Don't sink. Terrain. Too low. Yeah, I did that in GTA once. Okay. Penfed.org. Are they still playing copywritten music?
Michael has flown on 3 U.S. World Aerobatic teams and surpassed U.S. national aerobatic.
Dude, the noise!
Few individuals have enjoyed the success that Michael has had in the air show industry, and he feels incredibly lucky.
Barrel rolls! Yes! Awesome.
Incredible fans like you. Our team is
That's awesome.
able to perform at the highest levels of the industry by partnering with very special companies. Wheelan Aerospace Technologies and PenFed Credit Union support Goulian Aerosports as co-primary partners. These two amazing
Dude, listen to the noise when it does the pass.
Michael and his team to perform at an extensive schedule of air shows from coast
No,
to
no,
coast
no,
each
no.
summer. To keep his
Ooh, Red Bull helicopter. That thing can fly upside down, by the way.
Hartzell propellers and Bose aviation headsets.
Yep, can't listen to that. Is it possible to make a plane like this in Kerbal do these stunts? Absolutely, dude. Yeah, of course you can. Oh, a couple of T6 Texans right there. A trio of T6 Texans. There was a trio. It was a flock. That thing is cool. We should, like, get a bunch of these and race them. We can't do that. It's too dangerous. Yeah, Rig, I don't like complications. Damn, dude. Yeah! All right. I love planes, and I know we learn a lot from planes for space, but this content isn't what I like. Do you have a time I can come back when you talk space and space news? Yeah, sure. We can do that now. All right, let me get the space news all piled up here. I'll pin the air venture stuff if you guys want to keep watching. Okay. So that's EAA Air Venture. That's at Oshkosh. If you want to watch it, I believe the P-51 team is coming up next, which is pretty cool. I'm going to have that up there so I can watch it. All right, so let's see. What's going on with space? There's not a lot here. There's a couple of cool things, but here's a good one you guys might like. Check this out. Blue Origin is adding to its spaceflight memorabilia collection in its main building here. Check this out. Probably can't play that. And it's a Volkswagen. Why? It's Alan Shepard's Volkswagen. Nice. We probably really shouldn't listen to that, but whatever. So, Blue Origin added, Jeff must have bought Alan Shepard's Volkswagen. That was Alan Shepard's daily driver. Alan Shepard was the first American to fly into space. So his daughter, Laura Shepard Churchley, donated it to the Blue Origin Museum? Question. Okay, thanks. Also, Volkswagen. It's in good condition. I wonder how many miles are on it. What was that Blue was transporting today? Well, a Volkswagen Beetle. Donated for a tax write-off. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to write off on a Volkswagen Beetle, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, this is fully restored, guys. This has been frame off restoed. Either that or Alan Shepard kept this thing in impeccable condition, because that is really nice. Yeah, very good. Oh, factory ashtray. All right. Very good. Dude, AM, FM radio. That's pretty neat. Oh, dude. Clock. That's not a clock. I think that's a temp gauge. Did you see what happened in LaGuardia yesterday? I did. Yep. So that's cool that Blue got did you really need a drone for this? Yeah. Laura Shepard Churchley did fly. She flew on New Shepard, for what it's worth. And she gave a speech that I guess we weren't privy enough to hear. You guys know, you guys ever watch Silicon Valley? Remember the first episode of Silicon Valley where they cut to all the people talking about you know, their pitches, and they're like, oh yeah, we're trying to make the world a better place. To make the world a better place, we are coupling mainframes for the end user paralysis analysis. I was in the kitchen cooking. Did I hear you talking about experimental aircraft? Was I talking about EAA? Oh, yeah, I was. But now we're not. We're doing space news. All right. So that's cool. So I think the other thing to mention is if we go to Space Coast Live, you can see that they are taking down the tower segments at Slick 36. And if we go back, you guys want to see something weird? Let's go back a couple hours and take a look. Anyone know what that is? I know what that is. If you were watching this with me this afternoon and know what it is, don't say nothing. Don't say LM1. Please don't say LM1. Damn it! It's a Volkswagen? You know, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. You know how your in-laws are in Detroit? Mine are 15 minutes from EAA. Okay. Goalie's like, ooh, I know. That right there is Ares 1's launch mount. LM1 stands for Launch Mount 1. Yes, there is another one. There was 2 of them made. That's Ares 1's launch mount that was supposed to be on the mobile launcher once upon a time, but that didn't happen. Is that where the bug is going? No, the bug's going into the square hole. Let me just put that up there. So this was recorded a little bit earlier in the day. But Blue... These are Blue Origin SPMTs, and there's Blue Origin personnel everywhere. Blue seems to be doing something with Ares 1's launch mount. Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess, just, you know, guess that it has something to do with that. Do you guys know what that is? Don't say a typewriter. Don't say typewriter. It's not a typewriter. It's a big hunk of steel, a tangled mess. What you guys are looking at right there is Blue Origin's Glen Stage 2 hot firing test stand. This piece of equipment was designed to bolt to the launch table, and then be attached to Complex 36's hydraulic mechanism to be turned vertically so Blue could hot fire their stages. So they could hot fire their stages on the test stand. On their main pad. I'll show you a picture. Here's a picture of that structure in better times. You know, when the pad was still in one piece. But see this thing right there? There it is. The idea behind this was that they were making, that Blue made a second stage test stand on their main pad. It's an EJ Kerbal contraption. It very much looks like it, doesn't it? So, see that testing device over there? There it is. Huh. Kenneth Wayne Smith Jr. College dropout to Forbes 30 under 30, aspiring astronaut, Blue Origin deputy launch director. The GS2-TE is known as the mobile test stand that we use for GS2 hot fires. Oh, thank you for the clarification. So that got brought in. So there is the MTS. So this thing did bolt up to the launch table. That was the thing that we saw this thing. It bolted up to this. Yeah, Aqualex, from what I'm hearing from anybody associated with this project is that money is no object. So if you look at the launch table right here, you see this clevis, this piece right here, see how it has the hole? There should be another one over there. We figured out the other day that that's junk, that's destroyed. It's gone. It should be there, but it's not. And if you look at the MTS, right? The MTS has, well, it would have had two slot pin pieces right here where this thing attached to the pad, turned GS2 upright and hot fired it. Now, here's the real question. I understand what this thing does. And I understand that there's no pad for it anymore. The pieces that needed to the pieces that this thing needed to attach to is no longer a thing. Now, we know that Blue Origin is switching to a vertical integration concept of operations for New Glenn as they rebuild LC-36 after that whole fiasco happened. Now, the NG4 fiasco happened. Now, that sucks, but obviously, with a new con ops, you're not going to be able to test your second stage at LC-36 anymore. So the real question is this part of the deal here? Looking at all this together tells me that they have Ares 1's launch table, and they're going to use that to make a new. They're going to use that in the mobile test stand and make it a not mobile test stand and make a second stage testing device. The bigger question is, where are they putting it? Yeah. Yeah. I see that, London. I have that link. Got it. So yeah, that's if you're wondering where that goes here, if we type Ares 1 in here, and find the uncompleted mobile launcher, there it is. This is a picture, might I add, from like 2009. You can see Launch Mount 1 and Launch Mount 2 right there. This mobile launcher, which was designed for Ares 1, ended up being SLS's mobile launcher. And, yeah, it's there. But it's certainly faster than finding the steel to build another one. And the time it'd take to weld it up. Do we know if it can handle New Glenn's mass? GS2? Absolutely. This thing's designed to hold up a 5-segment SRB, Aqualex. 5-segment SRB is 1,250 tons. Not including the upper stage and Orion on top of that. That's what that launch mount was designed to hold up. Now, here's the real kicker. I did some digging and went into Google Earth. Look at this. Want to see something interesting? Let's go down here. And if we go back in the timeline here on Google Earth, we go back to like 2010. There is a very, very clear shot of Launch Mount 1 and Launch Mount 2. Right? We go in here. Now, keep in mind, this isn't an exact science, but we go there. to there. Just, you know, get this. It's almost exactly 7 meters. Now, keep in mind, if you're using this as a second stage test stand, right? The stage doesn't need to fit through that. Only the 2B3Us have to fit through that. So you can make a stage ring. You could put a staging ring right on top of this thing, bolt it right down to the mount, and you can make a permanent, test stand. It's the right diameter, which is, dude, I'll admit, if they hot rod Ares 1's launch mount into a second stage test stand, I'll be pretty happy. That'd be pretty cool. Trains. I like trains. Okay. Now, of course, if you go modern, there's Mobile Launcher 2, which... What's the third? What's that third thing? Oh, that is the service gantry that would go underneath. Yeah. Let's build it. Let's build a completed. Look at that completed launch stand. That's really cool. How about we just take it apart and make it worse? You know. It's fine. Look around Blue's factory for any place for them to do testing. I had a feeling that that might be where this is going to end up. Here, let's If I had to put a wager on it, I'll bet you it's over here. Either that or over here somewhere. That pool looks like Idaho. It could be your own private Idaho. Your own private Idaho! No, that thing would have been on that square weedy grass patch. You're a grass patch. A snap of what I meant in direct messages. It's... Let me look at it again. All right. What does Mama have to say on the subject? Huh. You know, I have no clue. I don't know what that is. I know those are the launch mounts and that's the service gantry. I thought that was an additional service gantry, but temporary building. Some type of temp building. Why didn't they... You know, I got a really stupid question. Why didn't Constellation just take a shuttle ML and just modify it? Why build a brand new one for Ares 1? Why not just modify that? I don't get it. Why would you do that? You already have the hole for the stupid rocket. It's right there. You already have a mount for a freaking SRB. Why build that? I don't know. I saw a paper a bit ago that the area to the south is getting a massive building, something in the three quarters of a million square feet area. Oh. Congress. Yeah, I know. You could have just modified that. In fact, Ares 1, like Ares 1X. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. Do we have a picture of it? Guess not. I mean, it launched off of a shuttle mobile launcher. See? Why not just modify that to get that to do... What is your Cletus t-shirt about? It's... Stand back. I built this stuff myself. I wore it yesterday. I know I did, but don't worry about it. It's fine. You could have just built it to you know, if that, I mean, just saying, it's possible. That was a criticism right off. A new gantry for each iteration of SLS. Yeah. Would they have been able to modify the shuttle superstructures to service the upper stage in Orion? No, that. I mean, okay. Little bit of a dive into this. So... You could have taken the fixed service structure, the FSS, and do exactly what Blue Origin is doing with it right now at their tower and take it apart like that. You absolutely could have done that. You could have done that. What they also could have done is take that stuff, because it's entirely modular. This is entirely modular construction on purpose, so you could make taller launch umbilical towers if you built a bigger rocket, right? You could take those parts from 39B, which they decommissioned, right? And you could use that, you could refurbish them and use that to make this structure, so you wouldn't have to pay for any of this. Now, let's go up here. Now, here's the thing. Hang on, I need another cough drop. Ares 1X. So, Aqualix, they could have taken all this stuff apart. You could have just deconstructed the rotating service structure and then take what's left of the FSS, which is the same. So the fixed service structure is actually made out of leftover Apollo launch umbilical tower parts. You could have just taken this, if that steel is good, and you basically could have had half of your tower ready to go. But we decided that we didn't want to do that, and instead, during launch, we blew it up with rocket exhaust. The Ares 1 launch right there destroyed the fixed service structure and the rotating service structure. Yeah. See how the SRB exhaust is kind of, you know, pointed at them? Yeah, it destroyed it. If you were going to do Ares 1 and you were going to do it cheaply, you could have taken the 39B service structure apart, reused these components, and then used the shuttle mobile launcher that you've launched off of it, revert it back to a Saturn V configuration with a 7-meter hole instead of a 10-meter hole, and you'd be good to go. But we didn't do any of that. We decided we didn't want to do that, and we just built one from scratch, which is... If you're gonna build an SDLV, a shuttle-derived launch vehicle, why don't you build the launch pad out of shuttle-derived parts too? we decided we didn't want to do that, which I'll admit, as a Constellation connoisseur, that's really stupid. That's really dumb. I guess we would have to look at the difference in labor costs to do a teardown like that. They had to tear it down anyway, right? Oh, you want to hear the real kicker? You want to see here. You want to have a real kick to the scrotum? Yeah, I got to say it like that because then it sounds funny instead of sounding vulgar and inappropriate. You want a gigantic kick to the scrotum, mate? Look at this. See this nice field right here? This field that has a bunch of solar panels in it. Very nice. Yeah, you know, nothing wrong with some nice solar panels. It's the Sunshine State after all. Want to see the real kicker? Watch this. See that field? Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. You know what those are? Anybody? You love a good kick to the mommy and the daddies. So you remember how I said these are modular? The towers are modular? What do you think those are? That is what's left of the Apollo launch umbilical towers that they ended up not using for the fixed service structures. They not only could they have taken apart the fixed service structures, and you can't say that they wouldn't have done it. This is in 2004. They were there 20 years ago. They could have used those, and they could have used what's left of the FSS to make an Ares 1 mobile launcher quite actually out of spare parts, with minimal modifications and fabrication. I guarantee you that would have cut Ares 1's price at least 25% off of its price tag. How rotted were they at the time? I don't know. All we have are these pictures. Those are leftover launch umbilical. That's the leftover LUT, the red service structure from the Saturn V's. They were there until the mid-2000s when Constellation came along. Yeah, crazy, right? Maybe, just maybe, we might be able to see if they moved them or scrapped them. This field, you can usually see some pretty fun stuff. Like an external tank. And all the SRB jigs for moving around solid rocket booster parts. But EJ, that's not expensive enough. Yeah, I know. And external tank transport stands. And we don't need any of this. Whatever. It's fine. Yeah, let's just scrap it all. We don't need that. So, yeah, now I'm thinking you probably could have made Ares 1s. You probably could have made it out of literally like nothing. You could have made it out of spare parts. They definitely had the parts to do it. But that was the whole point. That's why those parts were sitting out there in that field. You know, they kept them just in case. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Looks right. Yeah, that's an interesting point. The mid-2000s were a weird time, if I recall correctly. Material costs were still low, but man-hours were way up. There's a world where scratch building a new one was cheaper. I just don't know if that's our world. Considering that one mobile launcher just got axed a couple of months ago because it was too expensive. Yeah, I think I'm inclined to say you're probably right. Anyway, it's cool that we're seeing Ares 1 parts. So, like I said, we go back over to Space Coast Live. The subject matter here is that Blue Origin has Ares 1's mobile launcher mount. It's called Launch Mount 1, or LM1 for short. I think they're going to take these things down to their production facilities and build a second stage hot firing test stand. And they are actually doing it out of spare parts. Yeah, because they employed 500% on paper. I really do. Dude, you want to hear something crazy, Plank? Like, I get what you're saying, and I understand. Like, yeah, Congress and idiotic spending and, acknowledged, etc., etc. Honestly, I think disassembling the old fixed service structure and then modifying a shuttle launcher probably would have been more man-hour intensive. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. Like, that would have taken a long time to take that RSS apart. But yeah, Constellation parts being used for a test stand. I really wish they were used for Constellation, but whatever. But yeah, Blue Origin just moved around Ares 1's launch mount. Now, just another quick thing with Google Earth, real fast, if you want to take a look. Something curious here. If you look at Launch Complex 1, 2, 3, and 4 down at the Cape, and you look at the most updated pictures coming out of there, like over here. Oh, I could have sworn the launch mounts were down here. We haven't seen the Ares 1 mount in a long time. I thought it would have been here. I'm pretty sure it was, but I guess it's not. I thought you could see them on Google Earth here, but they brought it in by barge, so it has been off-site. Yeah, well, they brought it in. So here's the interesting thing. They brought it in with the MTS. The MTS was right here, which means they most likely used this dock right here to load all that stuff onto the barge. This is Hangar AF, I think. Yeah, that's Hangar AF, Alpha Foxtrot. So they're probably chilling around here somewhere. They were definitely on site. We would have seen them come in through the south gate. They were definitely being stored somewhere. Which is cool because, just like every other cool NASA thing, I thought they would have scrapped them. That's Hangar AF. It's the most hangar. By a long shot. I could have sworn they were at Complex 1. I swear they were out here. There is a bunch of New Glenn jigs and stuff out here, for sure. Maybe Blue just had them on site. Hold on. Unless they didn't come through the gate. We would have seen them go through the locks then, dude. Ah. A lot of grading going on out there. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Ah! Ha ha! Found them. Complex 12. So Blue has had these things for some time. I wonder how long they've been there, though. Let's check. There's a very specific reason why I want to see when those things showed up. 2023. Blue is leasing Pad 12, yes. They use it for spare parts. Interesting. 2023. When did Dave Limp become CEO of Blue? $2024. And when was this picture taken? July of 2023. Interesting. Was that a GS2 at Complex 1 or whatever? Over here? No. No, Blue only got the lease to put parts here very recently. That is a GS2 though. That's a new Glen second stage. I don't know. It's probably a test article. All this is just extra test or spare testing jigs. It's all the scrap parts that you don't need. Interestingly enough. So, okay. Why did I bother looking up some old Constellation parts? Why did I bother looking at this at all? Okay, Blue's had these for a while. They've had them for 3 years. At the very least. So that tells me that eventually... So we had theorized a little while back. We theorized a little while back, dudes, that the new Glen vertical integration concept of operations was definitely a thing. It was a thing long before the NG4 thing happened. Now they're just getting the plan done really, really fast. Or getting the plan done really quick. Because, yeah, the rocket exploded. No, it doesn't mean that Blue owns it. If they put Ares 1 launcher parts on their property from a pad that they leased, I'm going to go ahead and say that, yeah, it's probably theirs. They probably bought them from NASA. I mean, I'm just putting it out there. I think that would be fair to say. It's complicated. It's really not, though, dude. It's not, because it's like right there. I don't understand why you think this is complicated. You can procure stuff in government auctions. We should see if this ever went through the government auctions. We should see if the launcher platforms ever went through. Ah. Okay, cousin. So, anyway, for what it's worth, LM1 and the Mobile Service Tower, MST, were offloaded at the Cape today, and they're sitting in the staging lot. Here's a live shot of them right now. Hey, Josh. 109 months. Thank you. Do you think they will acknowledge publicly about this plan, though? Or say anything about it being the Ares 1 plane? Don't know. Yeah, SpaceX did buy a bunch of old shuttle stuff, dude, for sure. They did. They bought the Falcon 9 transporter. Interesting. If it was public, one might agree, but there are more parts even highlighted earlier by you. Way older parts spotted on Blue's property. They just got to buy it? No records? The older parts are on KSC proper, dude. I think you're getting confused. Yeah. SpaceX bought the LOX tank from Complex 34. Not a lot of people know that. That's a throwback, dude. A really old throwback. Complex 34 had a liquid oxygen tank. Once upon a time. See if we can find a better picture. I'm not 100% sure where it ended up. Thought it was, well, it probably wasn't stored on site, but not a lot of people know that the sphere, see that LOX sphere right there? That is the LOX, that's Apollo era. That LOX sphere was at Complex 34. And SpaceX lifted it and put it at Pad 40 when they got the contract for Falcon 9. Fun fact. Not a lot of people know that. That's a throwback, dude. Seriously, there's one of the weirdest pictures you've ever seen. Here. Look. Once upon a time, dude. See last. Okay. Do you know what's going on due west of Complex 36? Yeah, that's some, it's a facility. It's not for building launch pads. It's some other, it's a refurbishment, first stage refurbishment facility. Hey, that's the dome that's on top of a Star Destroyer. It's the deflector shields. Hey, I know that truck. It looks like a pile of junk. Is that guy over there for balance? Nah. Nah, that's fine. So yeah, not a lot of people know that SpaceX lifted this thing from Complex 34. So, you want to see a picture of it? Check this out. Let's go into Saturn Research Pictures. Where's a good shot of Complex 34? Here's a picture of Complex 34 from like 19... What would this be? That's SA4, so 1963. There it is. Pretty crazy, right? Now I know what people are going to say. Well, that's not the same. That's not the same thing. That's not... Yeah. It looks like they did change the supports a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's Complex 34. It could be 37s. But 37's spheres were operable because Delta 4 was still there. See? Any clue on the next GTA night? I don't know. We'll find out. I'll find out for you. Now see, it looks like that tank. Or that tank, but those tanks were in operation until the end of Delta 4. I'm almost wondering if SpaceX scrapped those tanks. Because Slick 37 doesn't look like that anymore. Oh my gosh, they did. Well, the LOX tank is, the hydrogen tank is still there. It's 34's. LC34's article says so. So I'm wondering if it's that same sphere, because that has different angles. Let's try to see if we can find some other pictures from 34. There's a picture. My Saturn 1 and Saturn 5 pictures are all mixed together. Oh. Nice. It's got to be that. That's got to be that sphere. Unless there's another. Oh, here's another good picture. Yeah, that's it. That's got to be it. I don't know why they changed the supports for it. Maybe they modified it in situ to go at pad 40. Oh, yeah, plank. Yeah, I mean, that's not that bad of a lift, dude. You see how much get labeled on OpenStreetMap? No, but that's super cool. Neat. I think I'm going... You think I'm going to this? Nothing you'd be interested in, but it's at KSC. The first ever global conference dedicated to the Netbox community and extended ecosystem. All right. What is this, brother? Also, what the hell is that? What are these? What are these, and where can I get one? And why don't they have a thermal protection system in the back? No, I know it's AI slop. I get it. Anyway, Dave Limp. It's cool that Blue is potentially reusing that stuff. Anyway, let's get to the next bit of news. So Relativity here to expand Terran R production in Florida. This is an unpaywalled space news article. This is by Jeff Faust. Relativity Space struck a deal with Space Florida to build a manufacturing and test facility for its Terran R rocket on Florida's Space Coast. Space Florida, the state's Space Development and Financing Authority, announced July 21st that it signed an agreement to help finance construction of a new production facility for the company's Terran R rocket near Cape Canaveral. Huh. The agreement also includes a commitment by Relativity Space to expand test and launch infrastructure at Kennedy and Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. The Florida Department of Transportation will provide up to $134 million in financing for these projects through its Space Improvement Program. Expanding our capacity in Florida enables our ability to scale the Terran R program to support commercial, scientific, and national security missions. Eric Schmidt, chief executive of Relativity, said in a statement. Yeah, Eric Schmidt, like the Google guy, Eric Schmidt. Yeah. The new production facility, whose exact location was not announced by the company or Space Florida, would be in addition to Relativity's existing factory at Long Beach, California. The company did not disclose a schedule for the factory, although Space Florida said the investments would create thousands of high-paying new jobs in the state by the end of 2034. Relativity is developing Terran R, a medium-lift launch vehicle with a reusable first stage. The company will conduct launches from Cape Canaveral's Launch Complex 16. Relativity has issued a regular series of updates on development of Terran R and upgrades to the launch site. Yeah, we watch their videos all the time. The company, though, was recently added to the Space Force's National Security Launch Phase 3 Lane 1 contract, making it eligible to compete for future launches by the service that do not require the highest levels of mission assurance reserved for Lane 2 missions. Yep. A Florida production facility for Terran R, besides providing additional capacity, could improve the company's logistics. In recent updates, Relativity noted that it transported a Terran R second stage from its California factory to Stennis Space Center in Mississippi for testing by ship through the Panama Canal, suggesting we'll have to take the same approach to transport stages to its Florida launch site. That right there, dudes, just on a side note, is the exact reason why Falcon 9 is very tall and very skinny. That reason right there. SpaceX, when they engineered Falcon 9, engineered it to Department of Transportation hauling standards, so it can fit under bridges. And you can then haul Falcon 9s via truck and not barge. That was very important back in the day. Very, very, very important thing for keeping Falcon 9 costs down. Now, the interesting thing here, the ironic thing, I guess, is that SpaceX ended up having a gigantic naval fleet that moves Falcon 9s around anyway because they land them on drone ships. But those drone ships don't have to transit the Panama Canal. But yeah. Calling it now, the second launch pad will be announced next. Okay. How much you want to bet they switch all production over to Florida once it's up and running? I would say that that's probably... Do you have any idea what the current production rate for Falcon 9 boosters is? Roll off one every couple of months, dude. EJ, is it suicidal? So, actually, Vargon, that is where my mind was at. So, if Relativity moves their production facilities here, okay, you want to hear a bold prediction from EJ? I think they'll get rid of their California premises. Relativity's production facilities in California are they're at Long Beach Airport right here. These are Relativity's facilities. You can tell because of the way it is. Now, the very interesting thing here is that once upon a time, these production facilities were part of McDonnell Douglas. And they were used to make something else. This was the C-17 production facility. I don't know if you guys know that. We're doing all the deep cuts today. This facility was for Jixer. Sounds like a Jixer. This facility is big enough and wide enough to make C-17s. Now, I have an extremely hot take here. My extremely hot take is that Relativity is wanting to move their production facilities to Florida and then sell this back to Boeing to make more C-17s. That's my hot take. I did hear about that, S. I think that's really neat. Would you be able to link the news in this post? Yeah, sure. There you go. Not a hot take. That's about as lukewarm and expected as could be. Yeah, I honestly think that because we need more C-17s, guys. The C-17 fleet is aging. Not a lot of people know that. But why buy these production facilities again? You know, that doesn't make a whole lick of sense. I mean, if anything, it would have been nice to have McDonnell Douglas's production facilities from back in the day here, because once upon a time, there was a huge airplane manufacturing facility here. Designed for making DC-10s and then MD-11s and MD-80s and MD-90s. Yeah, there was an absolutely monstrous production facility here. So this was Douglas and this was McDonnell over here, and they combined. And McDonnell Douglas basically owned Long Beach Airport. That's how it was. And then they merged with Boeing, and now it's now it's that. There's like a hotel here and stuff, which is kind of cool, I guess. I mean, some of the production facility is still there. But that's not to say that other aerospace entities haven't used these facilities. Like over here, if we go down in here like this, oh boy, it didn't go into Street View again, even though I told it to go into Street View. Here, maybe? No? Rocket Lab owns that building right there. Is that plant big enough for the new buff? That? Probably not. I mean, they could keep this production facility if they get a Vandenberg launch site, so they split the manufacturing difference, yeah. Or are they talking about restarting the C-17 production? Yeah, we should. It's really stupid that we stopped it. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, that's a very interesting article. Artemis news, though, I figure we'll share that now, better than whatever. All of the RS-25s for the Artemis 3 mission are inside of the VAB. This is a facility that is inside of High Bay 2 in NASA's Vehicle Assembly Building. These engines are pretty much ready to go to be integrated into the core stage, which is in the vertical Futuramic jig in High Bay 2 right now. Anything on SpaceX's Louisiana site? Nothing. Nothing, not that I've seen. So there you go. There's the 4 engines that will fly on Artemis 3, one of them being engine 2057. Are these new ones or still the jerry-rigged old ones? They're the jerry-rigged old ones. These ones have flown, all these have flown on the space shuttle before. You swear you keep forgetting about the size of these? RS-25s are not small engines, dudes. If you look at the toolbox, the Matco toolbox, nice Matco toolbox. I mean, of course, NASA spared no expense. Yeah, they're huge. They're the size of a pickup truck. And about as heavy as a semi. They're a big engine. You know, it has all this extra stuff on it because it's reusable. You know. Do we know what last shuttle flights we have here? Probably, some of these motors are probably from STS-135, if I had to guess. Reusable till it goes on Artemis, then we kiss them goodbye. Yeah. Would the SLS be more or less capable with RS-68s on it? It only really makes sense if you have a 5th RS-68, if you had 5 of them. That's the only way that really makes a whole lick of sense, dude. RS-68s are insanely heavy. They're about double the mass of an RS-25, and they're about the same size. Source, I've seen one up close. Don't ask how or where. The engine numbers are 2048, 52, 54, and 57 for the RS-25s. Oh, thank you. The RS-68s are like 7 tons. They're 7,000 kilograms. That's like 15,000 pounds of rocket engine. The reason why they're so heavy is because RS-68s, because they're one-time use motors, their nozzles are made out of heat shield. They use an ablative nozzle. So it's a Hydrolox engine with an ablative nozzle. They ended up being really, really heavy. RS-25s, by comparison, are insanely light for what they are. What is it? At 3.5, 4 tons? That's nothing considering the size of the rocket engine. They had to be as light as possible because they went on a gigantic flying brick. I honestly don't think, Sea Kraken, that if you put 4 RS-68s down there, that you'd be gaining much. Let me look at the specs on an RS-68A just to refresh my memory. Yeah. 6,740 kilos. That's really, 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 really heavy. But it makes 3,100 kilonewtons of thrust. Let me check something. So, if we had SLS with 4 RS-68As, 3,137 times 4, that's 12.5 meganewtons of thrust at liftoff. So the RS-25 is 2,400, 9,600. So you're making a little bit more kick, but the thing is that this thing is so ridiculously heavy. Almost 7 tons, and the RS-25 is half of that. You'd need 5. You'd need 5 RS-68s to make it worth your while, but the problem here is that, once again, that stupid ablator nozzle. Putting 5 of these in close proximity to each other could basically melt the nozzles from the inside out. And what's the kilonewton thrust for an RS-25? 2,400. Or no, 2279. So, see, what the RS-25 has going for it in this regard, because considering that the core stage is more or less a second stage engine, what it has going for it is the fact that it's so ridiculously light. The power to weight on a shuttle motor is really good. It would still be the reigning champion, like Chad tier engine design if Raptor 3 didn't exist. Raptor's the only thing that I think technologically bests the shuttle motor. The shuttle motors are insanely good. Like, even by today's standards, guys, they're disgustingly good at what they do. How different would SLS be using Raptor 3? See, the RS-25, let me finish that thought, dude. RS-25 is so much lighter. You're not making as much thrust, but it's so ridiculously light and so ridiculously efficient. I'm not sure that even 5 RS-68s would be able to, would make a difference, dudes. RS-68s are just, You're doubling, you're screwing your mass fraction. Any benefit that you have from using Hydrolox gets thrown out the window because the RS-20 or the RS-68A weighs as much as a Mack truck. I mean, dude, the TWR is bananas, 73-1. That's ridiculous. That's crazy considering, I mean, like I said, dude, RS-25s are still a good design, man. Even by today's standards. Like, and, you know, I've always said, oh, RS-68 should be down there and it should be Ares 5, etc., etc. Honestly, no. I would, if it was me, I would make an expendable version of this. Take all the shuttle stuff off of it and mass produce the damn thing. Which is basically what the RS-25E is. I wouldn't put RS-68s down there. They suck comparatively. Like, they're so bad. Like, can you guys imagine Ares 5? Think about Ares 5. Ares 5 had 5 RS-68s in the core stage. If Ares 5 had 5 of those in the core stage, I'll bet you could increase payload throw to over 200 tons. Easily. Easily. Like, not even a judgment call. 47.4 to 1 for the RS-68A. Oh, it's so bad. Guys, is the RS-68 a pile of shit? Excuse my language. Is that thing a pile of junk? It kind of sucks. Am I wrong? It kind of sucks. It's kind of a terrible engine. Like, it's kind of bad. Like I love Delta 4 Heavy, and this thing makes perfect sense as like a first stage engine, I guess. But it kind of sucks. It's kind of bad. It's so ridiculously heavy. Language. Sorry. My fault. Is it bad? Wasn't optimized for master thrust. Wasn't it built for mass manufacturing? Yeah, it's simple to make. That's the thing, Uncle X. They made it out of simpler materials like an ablator nozzle. No crazy Inconel alloy. It's just Avcoat. Seriously, the nozzle's just Avcoat. It's just heat shield. And it's open cycle. It's very simple to make it. But, yeah, that's... Oh, we got a ship lift. Man, now guys, like, all right, it's gonna kill me to say this. This is an infinitely better engine for a shuttle-derived launch vehicle than an RS-68 is. It is. It really is. It's not even close. It's not even a judgment call. I would use RS-25s. In fact, I think SLS should have 5 of them in the first stage, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so SLS Ares 5 with Raptors. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a look. What the hell is this? How do I not... Oh, frick everything else. I want this. Can we put that on the bottom of SLS? Can we put that on the bottom? Holy balls, why did I not know about this? The RS-83 is loosely based on the RS-68 that powers the Delta IV expendable launch vehicle. The RS-83 design is more efficient, lighter, and slightly stronger, and reusable. It's 5,800 for 3,300 kilonewtons of thrust, 750,000 pounds. What's the TWR? The engine passed numerous design reviews and was on schedule for prototype testing in 2005 before the SLI program was killed. You mother... Ugh. Anyway, Raptor 3. All right, so Aqualex, let's go off of the notion that you could somehow fill up SLS's tanks with Methalox and be cool with it. I'm pretty sure you'd run into some issues there. Plumbing issues, pretty much. Raptor 3 has 163.9 to 1 thrust to weight ratio. And it makes 2,400 kilonewtons of thrust. Dude. Actually, you know what SLS could do good with? 4 Vector engines, vacuum Raptors. The vacuum Raptors are probably, yeah, look, 2,600 kilonewtons of thrust at basically 164 to 1 thrust to weight ratio. 4,800 or 330 bar, 4,800 psi.
Go at throttle up.
You got 380-second specific impulse, but the engine is so ridiculously light. What are we talking about here compared to... Holy shit balls, dude. Dude. You could put... And Raptor can be clustered because it uses copper cooling channels. It has milled copper cooling jackets inside, so you can cluster Vectors together. I'm talking an SLS core stage with 6 Vectors behind it. Holy balls, that would be disgustingly good. Hey, Blake Strix, welcome to Mission Control. You're going throttle up. And they're mass producing them as a wear item. Yep. Hey, Blake. Hey, Jay. I'm Blake from the YouTube chat. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope Titan's panic attack is gone. He's perfectly fine, dude. Just watched the VOD of the new BF6 map and really loved it. You're deployed overseas, so you can't play the game. But seeing how you play, how mindful and tactical you do is really a sight to see. Thank you for the streams, man. Half of my detachment watch the VODs together. Thanks for the content. Holy shnikes, Blake. Hey, man. Thank you. It's my pleasure. I'm dead serious. Like, serious moment for a second. It's my pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us safe, brother. I appreciate it. I'm serious. And thank you for the subscription. Dude, like, you gotta get me going, man. I was thinking about content for Battlefield 6 and what we're gonna do with it being a STEM stream. And I was thinking, like, okay, so, like, okay, I'm civilian scum. Like, just bear with me here. My terminology isn't going to be exactly right here. But, okay, what do you do, like, if you're going to move across a street, right? In a tactical situation, you're going to move across the street. What do? You get a guy up there. You're looking down the tree line, right? You look down the tree line. You scan, right? You scan to try to get good situational awareness so you can cover and conceal across the street, right? I was thinking if we could, what you could do if you took somewhat, let's call pseudo-tactical or pseudo-realistic tactics and employed them in Battlefield and to see what would happen. I think it'd be kind of fun, kind of a fun exercise to do it. But yeah, either way, man, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, man. But pleasure's all on this side of the screen, but thank you. I appreciate it. I don't forget about that crap. That's really that's something that's really important to me. So, if I can give back in any way, shape, or form, I appreciate it. My cousin serves too. He was over there. He was in the sandbox relatively recently. I can't say when and where, but yeah. So yeah, you guys be safe over there, okay? We won't forget about you over here. At least I won't. In fact, Blake, I'll have you know, I bought a gigantic American flag for the 250th, and I have a 4x6 American flag hanging off of the front of my house. It's gigantic and it looks ridiculous because my house is not very big. But you know what? I don't care. If I could cover the roof of my house with an American flag, I would. In fact, I probably could do that. But then the flag would be lying on the roof. I don't like that. The flag should be hanging. It shouldn't be on the roof. BF6 would be tough, but that's the challenge, Panta, you know? It's easy to go play tactical shooting in Tarkov. How about playing Battlefield like Tarkov? How about that? I think that could be potentially pretty cool content, but I don't know. You guys tell me. Maybe, and I want to play, I would like to play Battlefield maybe for after hours tonight. Play something like Squad. See, Squad, but you're expecting the tactics from Squad. That's why that's just what everybody else does when they play that game. I don't want to do that. Go full Milsim and play Arma. No, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do. Oh, nice, Elfish. Thank you. Either way, Blake, right on, dude. I appreciate you. Be safe. We won't forget about you over here, man. At least, yeah, I won't. I just want to shoot people with suppressed M60s, though. Like, oh, man, does that frost my freaking gonads, dude. There's a nighttime air show at 9 p.m., which I recommend watching, even if it's off stream. Mother, surely you jest. Brother, I've had it on. I've had Oshkosh on this entire time, dude. Thank you, though. Yeah, I'll desert. It'd be pretty cool. Hell yeah, brothers. Thank you so much for the kind words. Talking about what I like about the new map is that you have downtime between the points to sit and regroup and think of what to do next. I like how tactical you think when pushing objectives. Luckily, I have access to YouTube now, a bit of Twitch. Thanks so much for the VODs. Space News, the overall games. Thoughts are with you and hope your lady's doing well. Hey, we're doing fine, dude. We're doing good now. Thank you very much. My heart sank when I saw the life update video, bro. It was tough. That was tough, dude. But we're doing okay now. What are cheaper, 6 Raptor 3 or 4 RS-25s? We don't know. Topical, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because SpaceX ain't giving us a price. It's not like they sell this, you know. It's not like they sell Raptor 3. Are you not doing stakeout tomorrow? Oh, I'm doing stakeout tomorrow. Attaboy, flag should be flying. Oh, yeah. Dan, I even... I took it down... I take the flag down at night when I'm done with my shift. Here, I take it down and I put it up in the morning. I don't like to leave it out in rain, but... And if I have another person, I trifold it. Brimo doesn't like doing that, but, you know, if I have somebody to trifold the flag with, I trifold it, we do it right. I trifold it and I put it up over my fireplace. And then you undo the trifold in the morning and you fling it back out on the pole and you put it back outside. Just teach Titan to help. Titan doesn't have thumbs? Question. If you start doing BF6 tactically, I'll buy it and join you. The whole non-tactical play is the only reason I don't play it. He has a mouth. I'm not putting my flag in my dog's mouth. And once again, this is not something... I'm not trying to say this, guys, to be like, well, I do the flag code. You know, I don't let my flags touch the ground. I have a flag in the shop and I have a flag at my house now. I do not let them touch the ground. They never touch the ground. If it touches the ground, you trifold it and you burn it. You do not let it, don't let the flag touch the ground. That's my thing. I do that to keep my mind organized. It's me, it's a me thing. I'm not trying to come off like, well, I have a flag and you don't. It's not any of that. But I thought, you know, the people that, if you do like hanging the flag, right, and flying the colors, I do it right. I very, very much make sure to do it right. That's very important to me. Why burn it? Flag that's touched the ground? That's flag code, man. I'm just lazy, so you light up mine and I keep it lit constantly. I have an Artemis flag that I put beneath it too. Ooh, that's a good idea.
Oh, this is
Angry
space.
Medic.
I'm in space.
Thank you for the 10. Appreciate it, dude. Burning the flag is messed up. That's flag code disposal. You trifold it and you burn it. That's the proper, that if you look up U.S. flag code. In fact, I'll be honest. It's like, oh, U.S. flag code. We lifted the flag code from the British, basically verbatim. This is British flag code too, if you guys care. If you're overseas, you're watching from across the pond. It's your flag code too. We just lifted it from you like a lot of other things, but yeah. I have not let my flags touch the ground, but I know the proper disposal procedures. Because it's important to me. I don't know. What is the RS-83? I don't know, man. Yeah, you retire it respectfully. Yes, that's correct. It's not like I'm putting it on the ground and burning it like people do. Like, I mean, if you want to do that, go ahead. That's not what I do. Level 2 hype train for flag code. Bueller with the 300 bits. But yeah, I put the posts up for the flag on the 3rd when I was on vacation, and I played Ragged Old Flag and just sat there and looked at it, dude. It's so dumb. It's so cringe, but I don't care, man. I love that song. Come to think of it, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that Ragged Old Flag. Suzuki? Man, what the heck was that thing? Actually, that kind of sounded like a Ducati. Ship 40's moving. I see it. I think you should lower the flag at night too, but I appreciate neighbors that leave the flag flying more. I bring it in at the end of my shift. I don't trifold it all the time, guys, because I don't have another person to do it with. Primo's usually asleep. Yamaha R3? Yep. But anyway, yeah, like, you know, I always tell people that have served, like, we don't forget. You're damn right I fucking don't. Excuse me. I take care of my flag and I respect it. I have 2 now. They're freaking huge. It looks ridiculous on the front of my house, but I don't care. I don't care. It's hanging on the porch. I don't care. Sorry. Anyway, let's get back to rockets. Blake, love you, man. Be safe, okay? It is weird, but I don't, you know what? I don't freaking care. I don't care. You got that giant Camping World. I mean, Zeros, it's a 4x6 flag. It's as tall as I am, dude. The thing's huge. The burning after touching the ground isn't necessary. Only if it becomes soiled or damaged. Otherwise, you're correct. I don't let it touch the ground, dude. I'm sorry. I just don't. If the flag touches the ground, I look at it as the same, like, it's almost like, it would almost be like taking shuttle engines and then tossing them into the ocean. Like, you're just like, oh, no, what are you doing? No, you know, it just makes my brain itch, you know? What about SLS with 4 BE4s? We've decided, so we've cumulatively figured out that if you put 6 Vactor engines at the bottom of an SLS core, you could probably increase SLS's throw capacity to over 200 tons. That's a conservative guess. I'd say at the very least 150. Just because these engines are so insanely small and the power to weight is so ridiculously big. If you could get SLS's tanks to use Methalox, this would just be, it would be absurd. Would you even need SRBs at that point? If you could fit, let me think, let me do some math out of my head. So SLS makes about 8.8 million pounds of thrust. That's about 35 meganewtons, give or take. 15 Vactors. So 35,000, and we need to divide that by about 2,400. Hey, I was close. Yeah, 15. 15 could do it. 15 would give you... That would give you enough TWR to go up. But you'd probably need a second stage. But you could get away with single sticking the core stage at that point. And I'll bet you, dudes, I'll bet you it would be pretty good. I'll bet you that'd be a good amount of that would, let me think. Dude, you could probably get the throw of 50 to 70 tons with a single stick SLS with 15 Vector engines behind it. Like, yeah, you could probably do that. You'd probably get away. I mean, it's basically like super heavy light at that point, but that's why I was thinking, like, if you had 6 vacuum Raptors on the core stage, dude, you could honestly, you could get away with 4 of them. My only thing would be the specific impulse. You 380, so 3.7 kilometers a second, right? So 380 second specific impulse. That's like the miles per gallon. The non-nerd way of saying this is that because the vacuum Raptor is using Methalox and the shuttle engine uses Hydrolox, you're taking a little bit of a miles per gallon hit, so to speak. The shuttle engine is 450 second specific impulse, but the vacuum Raptor is 380, but the vacuum Raptor has double the thrust to weight ratio, and it weighs as much as it's half the weight. Double the TWR. That might give you very similar performance to the RS-25s. If not, it would be a little bit less, dare I say. If you put so the way to make up for this, if you don't want as much, the way to make up for this, if you don't have as much specific impulse, right, is to double up these engines. This is why Starship has 6 engines, soon to be 9, and why Super Heavy has 33. If you're not going to make the best efficiency, I mean, 380 is about as good as you're going to get with methane. I conservatively guess like six Vector engines would probably give you very similar performance to 4 RS-25s. If not a little bit better. Not as efficient, but it's not as efficient, but honestly, like, you'd make up for that in just straight TWR. An SLS core stage with 6 vacuum Raptors could just brute force whatever into space. Just like Starship can just brute force 40 tons of satellites into space, and it's not a big deal. The numbers on Raptor 3 will likely also be running them safely. Yep. Considering how much more tankage you'd need for hydrogen, I'd bet you'd have the room for the extra fuel needed to SSTO the thing. Why not just use sea level? You'd really want as much specific impulse as you possibly can get. 380 is good. It's pretty good considering how fat this engine is, or how fast this engine is. It's not fat, it's skinny. Raptor 3 is freaking lean. 164 to 1 TWR. That's insane. It's 1,500 kilos. Dude, that's nothing. A shuttle engine weighs double that. An RS-68 weighs 4 times as much as that. Yeah, dude. SLS core stage with 6 of those bad boys. It would be disgusting. I'll bet you could throw. Yeah, like I said, about six vacuum Raptors would probably be it. That would probably be what you need for the SLS core stage, which is interesting because the V4 versions of Starship is going to have 6 Vectors in it. That's not a coincidence. What happens if you run LH2 through a Raptor? Explosions. Uncontrollable fire. Hellfish. Yeah, uncontrollable fire. The hydrogen would leak. It would leak everywhere. I mean, heck, the Raptors leak with methane. Yes, Kuro. I think it was a Ducati or cross-playing Crank R1. Yeah, Dan, it definitely had the pitch for it, huh? I really want them to static fire full stack tonight because it would be cool. Won't happen, though. Yeah, that'd be cool. Got in here just in time for the lift. Yeah. How many BE4s? How many generations of Merlin are there? Technically 4. Red arrows at EAA. Oh, yeah, I got the stream up there. Let me make sure it's up to live. There's so ship 40 is getting lifted onto booster 20 in preparation for a hopefully a launch tomorrow, guys. Dude, now I want to see BE4s. All right, how is the BE4? What could we get away with the BE4? So the BE4 is 5,400 kilos. Oh, it's heavy. I'm going to assume it's probably lighter than 5,400 kilos. So it's 12,000 pounds almost. 340 seconds specific impulse. $2,800 kilonewtons of thrust. Oh. Ooh. So guys, this is 2,800 kilonewtons of thrust is pretty good considering we're working off LNG and oxygen. So it's methane. They say methane, liquid oxygen, liquid methane. We, for all intents and purposes, we could say that, but it's LNG for the most part, from what I understand. So 2,800 kilonewtons of thrust, 340 seconds specific impulse, 5,400 kilos. That's not the best TWR, to be honest with you. It's you'd. Five BE4s would probably get you somewhere near what you want. Your payload capacity would go in the toilet, though. Yeah, your upper stage throw weight would go. It's making 100 seconds specific impulse less. Now, you do get more thrust, for sure. 2,800 kilonewtons. 5,400 kilos, though. She's heavy. Raptor 3 makes a similar amount of thrust. The Vacuum Raptor makes a similar amount of thrust, and it's 1,500 kilos. Yeah, fellas, I wouldn't put that up there. I wouldn't put those on a core stage. They're too heavy. It's the same thing as an RS, as the RS-68. You'd really want these as a first stage engine. If you want to laugh, look at the Archimedes engine. This is Rocket Lab's engine. It's a methylox, oxidizer-rich stage combustion cycle, 730 kilonewtons of thrust at 329 seconds specific impulse. How much does it weigh? There's no way that engine weighs 5 tons. Huh. What about the B3U instead of the B4? Yeah, those are 13. That's not great. The B3U makes 889 kilonewtons of thrust, demonstrated 941, 90 to 1 TWR, 445 specific impulse. You would need like 20 of them down there. That's just a round off estimate. It's probably not right. How would Neutron do with one Raptor? Neutron could have 2 Raptor engines at the bottom of it, and it would do the exact same thing as the what's in the first stage for Neutron. I think it's 5 Archimedes engine. How much power does a BF6 make? As much power as a violet laser that helps you shoot better. Starship launches tomorrow. No, what is this? Starship, baby. They're stacking the second stage right now. Paul, I still can't believe that. That stupid violet laser fixed everything. And I've been jonesing to play Battlefield since, but I wanted to model those crane parts in KSP today. Did I read that right? That a B3U demonstrated 941 kilonewtons of thrust? That's 211,658 pounds of force. That's disgustingly good. Honestly, if we're kit bashing stuff, if we're kit bashing rockets, take a Falcon Heavy and make a 3.7 meter Methylox core and put one B3U at the bottom. And put Falcon Heavy's extended fairing on it, and that would be the most disgusting launch vehicle of all time. It would be gross. That would be gross.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I mean, dude, that's the improved thrust, which is what we saw on NG3's 889.5 kilonewtons of thrust. That's 200,000 pounds. That's ridiculous. Oh, man, that's a dirty upper stage engine. Why is NASA not using that? Bah! Oh, that's so good, man. The B3U's hydrogen, yeah, Cled. It's a dual shaft expander cycle. Hydrogen, 90 to 1 TWR, 445 seconds specific impulse. That's gross, man. Oh, that dude. Dude, put one of those on the back of Vulcan. Actually, the Centaur. Centaur would not like that. Never mind. Don't do that. That would be very bad. Yeah, an SLS upper stage with one of those things would be really, really nice, actually. Dude, B3Us are disgusting. That is a disgusting upper stage engine. It's basically a J2X, guys, but it's way lighter. Way lighter than a J2X. Low key, the J2X was kind of crap. It was heavy, very heavy, just like the RS-68. I think I changed my opinion on the RS-68 today. I think I hate it, actually. I think it's a gigantic pile of RS-68. Is Starship the most capable vehicle, judging by payload mass capacity? Given it could do 80 tons reusable? Yeah, Max. I mean, it hasn't done that yet, but, you know, if it gets there, yeah, sure. Here, I'm going to move out of the way. You guys want to see this. I'm going to go over there. Ready? There we go. How long before we see full orbital Starship? A month, if this flight goes correct. Dude, who would have thought we're inside of 24 hours to launch and the vehicle's being stacked? That is unheard of for any other rocket. Any other rocket. The only one that would even come close to this level of integration time is Falcon 9. Man. How exactly does the bottom of Starship connect and disconnect from the hot staging ring? So Mars, these things, see those little guys right there? They're clamps. They're kind of tilted in right here. So when they crown Starship, they're tilted in. Well, they're hooks that are like this. They're out like that, and they're tilted in. So when they put Starship down, Starship will center itself on them because they're tapered, and then they go like this. They clamp. It's just like if this is the bottom of Starship, they'll lower the Starship into position and it'll clamp it. See? 1, 2, I think there's 6 of them. Give them the clamps. I'm trying to get 4 horsepower from a 30cc 2-stroke engine. Any advice? Oh. Revs are your friend? What's the bore and stroke on that motor? Do you think the next gen Raptor engines will beat the BE4 and the BE3U? Raptor 3's, guys, Raptor engine's pretty much MOG every other engine right now, with the one exception would be the shuttle motor. Everything else is... Why? The R68 was engineered in the 90s. Lord Gugu. Yeah, resonating exhaust, maybe, yeah. And then I was gonna... the turbo, Paul, a little turbocharger would do you right. The F-20C engine is the best engine. Yeah, sure. Guys, can we all point and laugh at S-Master because he's becoming a Honda bro? Not even a Honda bro. He's becoming an S2000 Honda bro. S2Ks are cool. Yeah, I know. Thrust to weight maxing. Yeah, pretty much, dude. I didn't mean it to end up this way. It just happened. S2Ks are cool when they have V8s in them. Can we point and laugh at the Red Sox right now? I don't think you should be doing that. Wait, they're playing right now. Hey, it's just the bottom of the second. We'll see. Hey, we'll see. It's just the bottom of the second. Show me a 9K RPM V8. Yeah, okay. We had one of those in the 1960s. It's called a Gen 2 Hemi. There you go. Anything else? 50-year-old engine, or actually 70-year-old engine technology, by the way. Why do you think that people like these things so much, dude? They can rev to 9 grand. Gen 2 Hemis are nuts. It's like Chrysler time traveled. I'll take one. Yeah. Yeah, you got 10 grand? Actually, more than that nowadays. A Saturn V with 10 Raptors in it is where it's at. Does 80 tons reusable mean 160 ton expendable? No. No, Max. Not necessarily. It's not really how the Delta V formula works. If Starship could do 80 tons by itself, it's probably closer to 120 tons expendable. Yeah, one man, 120 tons. Because you got to remember, the only fuel that they have is for the header tank and the landing burn for the reuse, right? You do get to neg out the weight from the thermal protection system, or the mass from the thermal protection system. That'll get you a couple extra tons, but it's mostly the fuel. So no header tank, right? You don't need that. Or you could carry it and use that extra fuel to just for insertion if you really wanted to. Yeah, I would, honestly, if we were doing an expendable Starship, I would just get rid of it. Your C8Z06 red line's at 8,600. Oh, yeah. Goalie has one. Yeah, there it is. Nice. Why is half the rocket shiny and the other half have black hexagonal tiles? I'm talking about the top part. It's weird. Steph, that's a great question. Yeah, no. So, these right here are thermal insulative tiles. They protect Starship for when it comes back down. Okay, here. Here. They're one of these. That's how big one of these things is. Starship is very, very large. So, what this thing does is designed to absorb an insane amount of heat. Okay? They absorb heat. When Starship comes back down, or when anything comes back down from orbit, it's traveling at 17,500 miles an hour, or about 27,000 kilometers an hour at entry interface. What happens is, you basically start hitting the atmosphere at a very high rate of speed when you descend. And air gets compressed up against these tiles. It gets compressed up against them. There is a law in science that's called the ideal gas law. What the ideal gas law basically says is that when gases compress, they get hot, and when they decompress, they get cold. Pretty straightforward stuff. Now, with Starship going 17,500 miles an hour, you could be dang sure that a lot of gas, a lot of atmosphere is getting pushed up against these tiles and is getting compressed up against them, right? So, they heat up. You have atmospheric compression. In fact, the air that gets pushed up against Starship when it comes back down gets so ridiculously hot, it ionizes. It rips itself apart. Starship is going so fast that when it hits the atmosphere, or this is anything that comes back down. Orion is the same way. The space shuttle is the same way. They come back down. They hit the atmosphere so fast, they rip the air apart. They rip air molecules apart because they're going so fast, right? When that happens, a tremendous amount of heat energy gets released because the air ionizes and it turns to plasma. Plasma is really, really hot, right? So these tiles are there to absorb the heat. That's one of those. They're there to absorb the heat to make sure that Starship doesn't melt. Because the entry heating temperatures get to about 1600 Celsius, north of 3000 Fahrenheit. Like hotter than lava. Yeah, way hotter than lava. So you need something to be able to absorb all that heat and get rid of it. That was a good question, though. But yeah, those are the tiles. Yeah, Fancy, exactly. So the tiles are on the side of the ship that's coming in first on re-entry, right? That's called the windward side of the ship, basically the side that gets hot. Now, because Starship is made out of stainless steel, all you have is just the stainless steel skin on the back. That's called the leeward side. That's the cold side. Tiles. Does that answer your question? That was a good question. Yeah. So they just cover half of it because of weight? Well, so the other thing, Steplery, is that I was saying Steph, excuse me. The other thing, Steph, is so with plasma, when plasma propagates on the vehicle, it actually leaves a wake. It sounds ridiculous, but if you picture like a boat going through the water, like a speedboat, it leaves a wake, right? So that wake from the hull displacing the water is not directly behind the boat, right? It kind of curves off to the side. When Starship has plasma accumulating on the side with the tiles, it actually kind of shoots off to the sides, if that makes any sense, and it creates what's called a hypersonic boundary layer, similar to the wake of a boat. It's not similar in physics, it just looks like it. So you have stagnant air on the back of the ship, so it basically pushes the plasma out of the way. Starship, when it re-enters like this. So here's my model of Starship, right? You know, I got my 3D printed. It's got the tiles on one side, right? Just like what we're talking about here. When it comes back down and lands, it belly flops into the atmosphere. So like it's going this way, right? But it enters 90 degrees like this. And because of that, if you look at it from the front, right, it's a spherical shape. And if you see the way the flaps are kind of tilted up, right? See the flaps? They flap up. The wake goes in that direction. It goes off to the sides. So you don't actually need thermal protection on the back side. You don't need a thermal protection system that's as hefty as the tiles. Actually, SpaceX had, you know what, Paul? That's a good point. So Steplery, check this out, dude. Look. There's actually a shot from a previous Starship flight that I have in my background just for this exact occasion, and I forgot that it was there. Paul in chat is the one that reminded me. You see the wake? You can actually see it. SpaceX is actually one of the few people to actually image this. See it right there? There's the wake. That's why you don't need tiles on the back side. Because of the cylindric shape of Starship and their entry heating coming at it this way, it shoots it off to the side. That's a hypersonic boundary. It's one of the few times it's ever been imaged. Ever. Period. Full stop. No one's ever seen that before. The closest we got was during the shuttle program. And the shuttle also has tiles for the same exact reason. Good question, Step. Actually, I'll see if I can go find... Here's the video. Oh, you got it?
As it's flat.
Thank you.
As it's flat. The one that Jesse has is kind of more...
Watch this. I love your space news. I learn something new every day. There you go. Dude, that is so cool. Step is fine. Thank you for the answer. Understood. Before I thought the ship must have hull coverage. No. Shoots it off to the side. Oh, yeah. The space shuttle did the same thing. And that's why the bottom of the space shuttle is dark and the top, the bottom's black and the top's white. Same exact thing. But the space shuttle's made out of aluminum. You can't have bare aluminum that close to a plasma wake. It'll melt. So the shuttle did need some thermal protection systems on the top. They put fire blankets on the top. They glued a bunch of fire blankets to the top of the space shuttle. Yeah, it's Nomex is what it's called. Starship, it doesn't need that because it's made out of stainless. Stainless can tank the heat very, very well, actually. But, yeah, see? See the wake? Yeah, durable. I lost it the first time we saw this footage. I'm like, that is one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen. Really want to see how different re-entry's Starship looks when it returns from the moon. It's probably going to look even cooler, yeah. Now, see, Step, the funny thing is that this was a test flight. All these are test flights. You see all this stuff coming off? That's not good. Though that's melted. That's, if you see like chunks fly off, that's bad. Those are tiles that are coming off. I mean, SpaceX flew the last couple of flights with an incomplete thermal protection system. They did it on purpose to see if the thing would make it. Because right there, see that thing? That thing makes the oven in your house look like an ice bath. This stuff is really toasty. Flight 3 was the first time. I think so, yeah. Yeah, speed holes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so good. That's so damn cool. That's not good. Plasma burn through is not good. Oh god, a short. Oh, there. Oh, here is my reaction to this. I probably say this is not good probably about 30 to 40 times. What test is this from? That's when I had facial hair.
Looking tiles.
Oh boy, you're getting burned through
Starship
again.
as well.
Right there. That's
And
not good.
Those were.
Oh,
It's not.
See the jet? See the plasma jet? It's permeating through. That's not good. That's bad.
Straightforward one where aluminum starts to melt at roughly the same temperature.
Together,
when
baby.
It starts to lose its
Please.
strength, not necessarily melt. And so if we see
Oh,
stuff
no.
melting, we know.
Come on, baby, stay together. See the jet? Yeah, the jet's coming through. That's bad. You don't want that. The plasma's going where you don't want, and wherever that plasma's gonna go, it's gonna melt it. Yeah, ablate. It'll ablate it technically. The metallic structure will become your ablator. That energy's gotta go somewhere. Hey, all right. Thank you, past me. Pushing it off to the side, it's gonna go through your ship and start melting things. See that? That plasma jet isn't as bad as last time, but it's still bad. Man, those front flaps get toasty, man. Yeah, that's not good. Almost there. So all those sparks that you see, all the sparks that you see coming out of there are bits of stainless steel ablating away. Yeah, it's not great. Hey, Snilly. 33-month resub. You mean this? I can't see Reddit because it's asking me to log in and I'm telling it to no. But yeah, Steph, good questions. Absolutely. That's why it has tiles on it. You can ask me questions anytime. Just tag at EJSA. I'll try my best to see it. There's a lot more of you than there is me. Will re-entry from orbit cause less harm to the heat shield than a suborbital re-entry? Yes. Max. Yes, it will. I've said it once, I'll say it again. These suborbital trajectories that Starship is flying for re-entry are very, very steep. It's a very steep deorbit trajectory comparatively to the type of conditions that you'd see from a low Earth orbit re-entry. They killed old.reddit unless you log in. Oh, yeah, that picture. Yeah, I've seen that picture. That picture's not great. You got a little bit of time, Dan. Hey, that guy called me fat. Yeah. When do you think SpaceX will start making and testing a rotating detonation engine? Not anytime soon. That is something that's way far down the road. Hey, Fast DJ, they got something right. That's right, yeah. Ablation. So yeah, they should be lowering ship 40 down here in a second. These pictures are coming from or this live stream's coming from our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. I will be doing commentary for them tomorrow, guys, for the stakeout stream if everything goes good. Can you imagine like something like Star Raker using RDREs? That could be useful. That could be useful for something, Uncle Alexa. You know, that'd be cool if we did that. You know. Expectations for tomorrow? A little worried about Super Heavy. There it goes. They're lowering her down. Dum dum dum. Dum. Oh! 369. Starship's fine. Launch it to me one more time. Oh, they lowered it a little bit. Now they're going to do the final stack here. To the window. To the wow. To the wow. Weather tomorrow is 50-50. Yeah, that tropical storm is not cooperating. Maybe don't look at the Red Sox score. Hey, okay, it's not as bad. It's the same as it was when I checked before. Who's pitching? We get a waste tank status, storage powered, waste tank purged. I mean, guys, the Orioles are a good team. As much as I want to break the consecutive wins record for the franchise, I mean, it's only the third inning, so whatever. But the O's are a good team. We snapped their 7-game winning streak, so they're kind of pissed. Four-run lead in Fenway is nothing. If you're a righty, Fenway Park's great. If you're a lefty, it kind of sucks. Runners could get caught in a pickle again. How's the soccer ball going? Spain won, Paul. Yeah. Pretty good game. It was a good game because some people actually got the snot beaten out of him, like that guy that like the guy that Enzo Fernandez hit, did that cartwheel. Like, dude, there's a guy that got hit so hard he cartwheeled in the air and landed like up on his face, and the guy wasn't like, oh my god, he was just like, oh, please help. I think I'm dead. Like, yeah, like, it's something that I've noticed about soccer. You know, if they're like on the ground going, ah! You know, they're full of it. But if they're on the ground going, oh, yeah, no, that actually hurt. Did he get a red card? Fernandez did. Yeah, he got thrown out of the game. I know Roy Keane, Snibbles. I know who Roy Keane is. Oh, yeah. Roy Keane hurt people. I know who Roy Keane is. Yeah. Yeah. No, you know. Proper guy. Yeah. Good stuff. Like that guy that got hit by the buffalo. Yes, exactly like that. Is Starship really have to be rapidly reusable? If SpaceX would have a fleet of 100 Starships, then they could refurbish one in a month. Max, the only way you're going to beat the rapid reliability is with scale. But if you make a rapidly reusable vehicle on top of that, that's just icing on the cake. Yeah, Victory, we'll be all right. You know, I think the best first stage engine would be nitromethane and LOX. Solid. Can you believe that? I still, you know, I said it before, guys, but I still can't get over the fact that the rocket, we're 22 hours out, and the only thing that is preventing this thing from going soon is weather. That's it. There is a rocket that's technically not stacked. We are 22 hour, 39 minutes out from a Flight 13 T0. Oh, they moved it a little bit. Should be lowering it down now. Yeah. We're 22 out, and the rocket isn't even stacked. If tomorrow goes well, how long until Flight 14? August? August? Third week of August? Guys, look, they called Ryan and Sawyer called me nuts on the last Flame Trench about this exact thing. But also, look at the screen. Clearly, guys, clearly that the time that it took between Flight 11 and Flight 12 and the extra time that it took between Flight 12 and Flight 13 were SpaceX basically ironing out ways to use this thing very, very, very quickly. Look, Ship 41 and Booster 21. 21 has done cryo. 41's around somewhere. Dude, it's not going to be long until we have another stack ready to go. The 14th is tentative for flight 14. 14th of August, astronaut guy. I think the 14th of August is a little bit too fast. Maybe in the future they'll be able to go this quick. But I'd say the 3rd or 4th week of August is very much on the table as long as this flight goes correctly. Ship 41 static fires in a week, more than likely. Yeah, Booster 21 has done cryo. They did all the cryo testing. 41 will do the static fire in a week. Booster 21 static fire in 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops to get all the engines installed. That puts us pretty much at the end of August. 3rd or 4th week of August. Dude, that's it. That's the rate you're going to see Starships coming at you from now on. And it's it'll get even better. It will get even better when the Gigabay becomes operational. They got to put the roof on. For those angled supports, do they have any compression like car shocks, or just does it look similar? Oh, those are struts. Those aren't shocks. Teague, you do not want deflection like that. Honestly, the natural material properties of the stainless is probably damping some of the vibrations. Say damping, not dampening. Dampening is getting something wet. Damping is reducing motion. Those things, the natural material properties of stainless is probably damping out the vibrations and load, most likely. When you're talking about this kind of mass and this kind of force being affected on a mass, everything is a spring. And metal, the natural material properties of the booster is a gigantic spring. So yeah, no need for a shock absorber. The booster is the shock absorber. Yeah, exactly, Bill. Everything's a spring when you were talking about this rocket that puts out 72 meganewtons of thrust. Hey, Fish, what's up, man? Been out all day. Any booster 20 tests or just right to business? Dude, they did a weird spin prime test. And I was getting to it, but they started stacking ship 40 before I could update everybody on the news. So check this out. Additional pre-flight testing on Super Heavy is complete. Now starting preparations to launch Starship as soon as tomorrow. Weather is a significant watch item. They tanked it and they did some weird spin injector test on some engines. And then they posted this. So now ship 40 is being stacked. So whatever test they did validated the fixes from whatever caused the abort last week. Test the igniters, maybe? They were doing something, Bill. Yeah. It was a really weird test. They didn't even fire the detonation suppression system. They just sent it. Ryan thinks it was just a LOX dump on the 4 engines that were replaced. Or however many they replaced. See, binary, that's a LOX dump. If Ryan... See, that's what I'm talking about, man. If Ryan is correct... Booster plumbing. What did I tell you? Like, why would you LOX dump 4 engines if you were... 4 engines like that if you weren't testing the plumbing in the booster, right? Maybe making sure the engines were hooked up. Net 13th for Flight 14 on the FAA advisory. Nice. To be fair, Ryan's wrong most of the time. Yeah, but Blackness, dude... Everything about the hot fire abort that SpaceX had on their first attempt for Flight 13 tells me that there was something funky with the booster. Flushing the lines is also a thing. Yeah? He said it was a leak check after changing the filters. Like a leak check after changing the filters on the aircraft. Maybe. The full stack looks so impressive and sleek when you think about what it looked like a couple of years ago. Dude, it's really dialed in, man. Yeah, Spoiled, that's kind of where I'm at. I think... I honestly think they found some weird isolated failure mode with booster plumbing in a certain ignition sequence configuration. And whatever this test that they did today was kind of validated it so that behavior is understood, so they won't do it again. But yeah, something tells me that like I said, that Flight 13 abort scared the crap out of me for some reason. I can't... It just didn't look right. And I'm sure I have the right information and the right way to say this, like, just jumbled around up here somewhere in a remote file cabinet in, like, the very back of my EJ's brain or something. Like, the exact reason. But my gut's telling me something weird with booster plumbing. Stacking this late shouldn't be much of a surprise. They intend to bring the launch cycle times down to an hour. Eventually, they're going to have to go faster. Yeah, Aqualex, I think you misunderstood what I was saying. The better way to say it is that I can't believe they're stacking this quick this early in the program. That would be a better way to say it. This is fast, dude. This is fast for any rocket. The only thing that could get stacked in less than 24 hours and launched is, like, Falcon 9. That's the only thing I can think of. Or a small sat launcher. Did they test the head pressure in the LOX tank? Like you pointed out, it could have been the issue for the abort. It's... Yeah. Yeah. Monish, yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. Booster plumbing is what... My gut's telling me that, and I have no way to prove it. IFT2 stack was faster. Once again, consider the context. In my opinion, lots of people panic for nothing. I think it was just a minor problem, and the Spin Prime confirmed that with a very simple solution. It looks like they're doing final lowering right there. Come on, bring it down. Come on. SpaceX has had issues with the passive debris in the lines. Yeah? There we go. Lowering it very slowly. The ignition sequence was wrong if you look at the infographics. I think they did fudge with the ignition sequence, dude. I really do. It looks like they did, but I can't prove it. I can't prove it. But Ojo, something about that hot fire didn't sit right. Like, it's like I've been saying, and people can call me a wimp for this, but Super Heavy scares the crap out of me. That is... That I said it on the stream yesterday, and I'll say it again because it warrants being repeated, because it is... This thing is... That booster is ridiculous. There's an insane amount of energy coming out of that thing. And lighting all 33 engines simultaneously with no staggered ignition sequence, there's no doubt in my mind that that's something that SpaceX can do. But holy crap, is that scary. Dude, the shuttle engineers got wonked out trying to start 3 shuttle engines at once. They were like, they staggered them, let alone 33 freaking engines, dude. That is just an insane amount of stuff happening all at once. And when it goes wrong, I'm like... You know? The booster scares the balls out of me, man. I'm like, okay, Super Heavy, you just do your thing. You just do it over there, far away from me. You know? Like... Admittedly, we've come a long way from 1970s tech when it comes to monitoring engine startup sequences. Yeah, sure, Hokey, but 33? Oh, that's a little bit of a jump, don't you think? Yeah, I saw that again. The VOD, your face is funny when they aborted. Oh God, what did I do? Oh no. I don't want to look. I don't want to see it. Never mind. I don't want to see it. Just to think with the N1, they said, meh, send it. Yeah. Getting 33 of anything to cooperate is tough, yeah. Yeah, man. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not like, I'm not trying to sit here and imply that Super Heavy is some, like, death trap. It's really not. Like, SpaceX will get it. They'll get it figured out from rapid prototyping and rapid flying. They'll eventually figure out a way to get all 33 of those engines to jibe together perfect every time. There's not a doubt in my mind. But, man, in the meantime, that thing is very spicy. It's very muy picante, okay? Muy picante. La bustera pica mucho. Bustera is not a word, but you get the idea. How big of a boom can Starship make? Yes. By the way, if it doesn't go tomorrow, it's Ryan's fault. He said the S word on Countdown to Launch today. It's an irrational fear like a fear of heights. I would not call that irrational, man. I'm sorry. I wouldn't call it irrational. That Super Heavy scares the crap out of me. You know what? Maybe I'm saying it wrong. I respect the hell out of that thing. It's like, I don't know. Knock like, you remember the first time somebody put a piece in your hand? Somebody put the real deal, real steel in your hand. You're like, okay. I remember the first time I got handed a firearm, dude. There's a freaking 44 Magnum. My buddies were screwing with me. They're like, here you go. And I'm like, keep in mind, I was like 17 at the time or something. Like I'm just like, oh, okay. 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 Oh. You know, you're like, ah. Did you feel lucky? A little bit, yeah. Like, it's that. That's like a respect. It's a respect for it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's right. The first firearm I ever shot was a 44 Magnum long barrel, like freaking Clint Eastwood. Live till the launch? No. Did you say make my day? I was too scared to say something cool, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I was like, dude, look, man, I grew up in the city, okay? I grew up in the city. Firearms not a thing. Especially, like, the outskirts of the city, like in the suburbs, right? It's not a thing. Like, when I went to college in Florida, it is very much a thing. So, yeah. No, I let one go, and I was like, oh, that was sick. Boom, 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 you know? But for that first couple of seconds, I was like, oh. And then the next thing after that was a 44, a Desert Eagle chambered in 44, which was, I mean, same thing. And then what other guns did I shoot that day? That was the first time I ever did it. Beretta, 1911, a Glock that was chambered in 40 S&W. I forget which version of the Glock that is. But yeah. You ever fire an M1? I've never fired a Garand before, dude. Shame. Glock 23, that's what it was, yeah. I still have the shell casings from the first time I ever shot, dude. I have the 44 Magnum casings and the 45 from the 1911. If you ever want to, I have one. I think I'll just buy one, dude. No, Meeps, what I was saying is that I respect Super Heavy in the same way that if you've never fired a gun before, the first time somebody hands you one and you're like, what do I do with this? Right? It's the same kind of, like, healthy respect. That's what I mean when I say the booster scares the crap out of me. That's funny, you have your first casings too? Right on, man. I will admit the last firearm that I fired was a fully automatic FAL. My favorite. My favorite. That was the last thing I shot. Yeah, full auto Belgian FNFAL, which was freaking sick, dude. Things just like you're like, holy shit, man. You know. And the one I shot before that at the range was a Chicago typewriter Thompson. Not an M1A1, a Thompson. 1,000 RPM. You know? Blackthorn, your service weapon was a saw? Okay, so yeah, you know all about the... Yeah. It had a drum mag box, yeah. It had a 50-shot drum, and the crazy thing is right, and it had the wooden grip in the front. When you let it roll, if you go on full auto, the angular momentum from the drum mag unwinding makes the gun kick up into the right. It's weird, dude. It's a weird feeling. Hey.
Hi.
What's up?
I have a lead on a door, but...
On a door?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know... It's one your uncle sent us.
Okay, buy it.
No, we gotta go look at it first.
Oh. Alright.
Wanna go tomorrow? Okay.
No.
Oh.
No, I don't. Tomorrow's Starship.
What time is Starship?
I have to be out here for stakeout early in the morning.
Nikes.
Nikes.
What about Friday morning?
Possible. Let me see.
If you click the thing at the top, it'll take you to...
We can do that.
You want me to ask him Friday morning?
Yes. Okay, bye-bye. Love you too. Okay, Nader. Sorry. It's my wife. Yeah, the Thompson, dude, when I shot it, it went, yeah, the drum mag unwinding makes the thing go up and to the right. It was very weird. It was the same kind of feeling like if you have a bicycle tire, and you spin it and you try to move it, right? It'll fight you. Like you're trying to fight the recoil, the drum mag unwinding, and you're trying to pull it back and it does not go back. It's very strange. Never encountered something like that before, but then again, I never shot something with a drum mag either. Yeah, you're like you try to pull it back in and it doesn't go. It just stays up there. You're just like, okay. All right. Can we not go over there? You know. Y'all city slickers are amusing, even kids out of 22 growing up. Hey, man, I've been trying to mitigate this over the years. I live in the woods now. It's fine. Okay? Hey, Pennsylvania, what's up, dude? Are there any diagrams of the connection mechanism for how the ship connects to the booster? Geek, it's basically just so, like, here's the hot staging ring. The piece looks like this, right? In Starship, this is the bottom flange on the bottom of Starship. It comes down, meets up with, the flanges meet up like this, right? And then the clamp piece just goes like that. That's it. And then the clamp piece is let go, and then they fire the engines when it stages. It is insanely simple. Okay, City Slicker, when was the last time you killed a groundhog? Titan cornered a groundhog the other day. I let him go, though. I didn't feel like cleaning up the mess. He cornered one, though, in the backyard. The thing was just like... I'm like, dick. Come here again, you die. Yeah, Geek, it's not complicated. And Geek, you want to hear another crazy thing, dude? The wire harness that connects these things goes through those struts. The wiring that connects the first to second stage, it goes through the strut. You notice how there's no wires? the struts are integral. So the wire harness goes through them into the ring and then connects somehow. I don't know what those plugs look like. I have no idea. But it has to. Unless those things are operating just wirelessly to each other, which I wouldn't throw it past SpaceX, but also, she's stacked, baby. The big thing that I'm dealing with right now for critters from the woods are frigging tobacco hornworms. They're trying to eat my damn tomato plants. Dude, I picked off a tobacco hornworm off of my Roma tomatoes today that was this long. It was as big as my finger. And then I crushed it with a brick. Yeah. She got Bluetooth? I wouldn't doubt it, Ruin. To be honest with you, man, wouldn't doubt it. Is the brick okay? The brick's fine. Yeah, tobacco hornworm. They eat your tomatoes, and they're the same color as the tomato stalks, so they're really hard to see. But I found one eating one of my damn tomatoes today, and I took it and the tomato and squished them both. Oh, Teague, all right, great advice. Hey, James, I believe you're late. We're actually just getting to the end of Space News. We had a good 3-hour Space News segment today. Diatomaceous earth will help keep them at bay. Okay. Good to know. But anyway. Yeah, I was a city slicker. I'm a recovering city slicker. Let me put it that way. You can't turn around here, Dave. Oh, yes, I can. I'm going to do it right now. Just got to wait for the traffic to go by. Oh, honey, you're causing a traffic jam. No, I'm good. We can turn around wherever we want to. What? You should have asked for directions. There's only one road, lady. Sorry. Too real? Relatable? Sorry, man. Last I read, they use the same quick disconnects Tesla uses for their battery packs. I believe it, dude. Can't see me. What's up, man? Do you suppose they may have more safeties to the booster pre-scrub? Yeah, maybe. When are you starting coverage? The stakeout stream? I'll be on NSF stakeout stream probably around 11 noon time, somewhere around there. But I'll probably be here before that, dudes. At least showing the stakeout stream on stream. Yeah. Then we go, dude. I'm on the stakeout stream for a long time tomorrow. You need an Archie Bunker impression? Yeah. And yes, I want to play Battlefield tonight. Yes, for After Hours. We haven't done After Hours in a little while. I want After Hours. Let's do it. All right, so the stack is ready to go. We're 22 hours, 12 minutes, 53 seconds out from hopefully Flight 13, weather permitting. And that's going to do it for the Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. You two girls, tell your friends. Space and Rocket Review. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. We covered a lot of ground. The SLS theoretical engine conversation was a good one. I did like that. But, yeah. I'm going to jog the YouTube VOD and we'll play some Battlefield for some After Hours. I'm going to try to do that whole tactical Battlefield playing thingamajigger. We're doing it for Blake. And anybody else that's watching overseas that potentially is over in the sandbox. I'm going to play it for you guys. Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. All right. Stand by for loss of signal on YouTube as expected. On Twitch, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll be right back after a word